Guys, welcome back to Kosi's Astor podcast. My name is Kosi, and I want to start by thanking everybody who has been supporting me for the last 5 days. The channel is amazing. We are just getting back to where we are supposed to be, and that is what I want. So thanks everybody. Thanks everybody. People like Peter Mugume, people like Joseph Ochari, people who comment on a daily basis. Please, thank you so much, and thank you for smashing the like button because it really means a lot, and it's what is actually changing this channel from a struggling channel to where it has to be. So keep subscribing, smash the like button, and commenting as well. But the reason I'm here is talk about Mikel Arteta and the future of Arsenal, because we've talked about this over and over again in December, in November. Remember when we lost so many games, we talked about Mikel Arteta, and I spoke my honest thoughts about Mikel Arteta, and I said, however much he would turn things around, even if he wins the Europa League for me, he's never going to be that manager that Arsenal should have signed in the first place. And I said it before, and now I'm going to say it again after the Liverpool game. I'm going to give you my reasons as to why I think Arteta needs to go. Of course, he's not going to go. And I want to make this very clear. Arteta is not going to leave Arsenal, even in the summer, because it has been made clear that Arsenal is going to back him and so on. So he's not going to go. But for me, I think he's not the right manager. Lampard was sacked at Chelsea. Let us start from there. When Chelsea saw that things were not actually moving on well, they sacked Frank Lampard. They were a little bit ahead of us. Of course, they had invested some money in their squad. We had not invested. But they were better than us in ranking, in points. They sacked him and brought in Thomas Tuchel. And what a tremendous job Tuchel has done at Chelsea. All of us can see. Apart from losing 5-2 to West Brom, I think the rest has been a bed of roses for Chelsea fans. And they can go to social media and troll whoever they want because they've been brilliant. Mikel Arteta is one of the managers that have the worst reputation at Arsenal as a manager. These are facts. He has lost as many games as he has won as a manager. At this point in time, Unai Emery had been sacked. You remember, after 1 year of nonsense, because I think he was driving us backwards. He was not backed as a manager, and all of us agreed Unai Emery needs to go because we're losing games and the fan base was saddened. We introduced Mikel Arteta as new manager. Of course, I didn't believe in him as a manager. He doesn't have experience. But the reason that's why we brought in Arteta was we didn't have money to go for a high-profile coach like Carlo Ancelotti, Thomas Tuchel, because those kinds of manager need backing. So we couldn't actually afford such a manager. We brought in Mikel Arteta. He won the FA Cup and the community shield. And for me, this is my problem with the Arsenal community and the Arsenal fan base. A manager winning an FA Cup and community shield and finishing 9th, 10th, for me, that doesn't guarantee anything. Because these are one-offs. These are one-off cups. Mourinho has won them. You know, Di Matteo has won the Champions League. He's no longer at Chelsea, and this is my problem with the Arsenal fan base. The standards are so low in this fan base. The standards are very low that we are accepting mediocrity. We are accepting a manager who we all know doesn't have a future. Because look, yesterday when we were playing Liverpool, it was all about the tactics. It was tactics. Yes, the players were so poor. The attitudes were not there. But for me, it was the tactics. Liverpool pressed us from the first minute to the 90th minute. Even when we conceded, we didn't respond. And my question there is, if as a manager, what are you trying to do about the situation inside the game? And look, one of the things I love about Mikel Arteta is his ability to change in game. I love it about him. I think he's one of those managers that I've seen. He's going to change tactics within the game. At times he does that. But when it comes to a manager that you think is going to compete for top four, a manager that is going to compete with the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, and Tottenham Hotspur, he's not that manager. He's just not there. He's not going to give you that. He's a manager learning on the job, and it's going to take him time and time to fail, because for these kinds of managers, they're going to fail, and then you help him back on his feet, and then he fails again, and then you help him back on his feet, and then he fails again, until when he can record some success, some level of success. But the question is, when is that level of success going to come? That's the biggest question. When are we going to see the success? Yes, Arteta doesn't have players. Arteta doesn't have good players. Okay, that is fine. Yesterday, what was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang doing on that pitch for that long? Why did he start in the first place? Because I think as manager, you know your players better, and you know what kind of opponents you're going to play. You're already focusing on the opponent. What was a Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang doing on that pitch? He was literally doing nothing, and he kept him on. Why doesn't Mikel Arteta have a starting 11? Why? At this point in time, there is no... Look at Liverpool. They are struggling with injuries. But they have regular players in that team. And the ABC is regular. They have a starting 11. But apart from that, Mikel Arteta never has a starting 11. The centre-back partnership, the right-back, those positions will never settle at Arsenal. Never. A new face every new game. A new face every different game. And I'm asking myself, are we having a manager? Are we having a joke? You can't tell me a manager doesn't have a starting 11 for 28 games in a season. You don't have a starting 11. And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And for me, the recruitment, the problem with our recruitment does not only stretch from players coming in and getting out. It has now stretched to who manages this football club. Unai Emery was a tested manager. He didn't do a good job. He never did a great job. But I think he's better than Mikel Arteta. He's better now. Arteta is a manager that is going to ask a lot of time. And we don't have that time. You can't tell me that we are going to finish outside Europa League this season. And the next season, where are we going to finish? Because the truth is, Arsenal is not going to give Mikel Arteta 500 million. They're not going to give Arteta 400 million to buy new players. It's not going to happen. We would rather get a manager who would give us results in our business model, because those managers are there. A Marcelo Bielsa, you could give, because I think we are better than Leeds financially. We could give him the quality he wants at Arsenal. He's better than Mikel Arteta. Our business model, and I think this is a problem, leaving our business model and adopting new business models that we do not fit into. Our business model has always been get the scratch and make it gold. That has been our business model. Trying to build a big project around Mikel Arteta, that has never been our model. It has never, and it will never be. It will never be. You're gonna see this summer. We've been just take a look at January. If we were Chelsea, we would have spent loads and loads of money in January, because that's the business mode of Chelsea. They throw money to their problems. That is not Arsenal. We don't throw money to our problems. So we can't have a manager like Mikel Arteta. He's through, Pep Guardiola through and through. He's Guardiola through and through. So he's going to ask for those expensive players. Arsenal are not going to provide, and we're going to keep struggling. Why don't you give us a manager that's going to work with a low budget and give us results? Spurs have done it. They've done it before. They had Mauricio Pochettino. They were not running a high, big budget, but they were getting the results. That's what we're asking for. That's what I think we should do. Keeping around Mikel Arteta, telling us that you're going to back him, yet you're not going to back him, for me doesn't make sense. because Arsenal is not going to back Mikel Arteta. And for me, the biggest problem I have is not particularly with Mikel Arteta, because Arteta as a manager, he has something he wants to do, and you could see his blueprint in Arsenal. But he needs quality players to do that. What Arteta wants, the pressing football, that is not given by Hector Bellerin and Chambers. Those players are shit. They can't give you what Pep Guardiola is teaching, and that is what Arteta is teaching. Chambers cannot play under Pep. Bellerin cannot play under Pep. So we brought in a manager that we thought has the right teaching, but we cannot give him the right resources. And for me, it's time for Mikel Arteta to go. Not because he is entirely the cause of our problems, but the project he wants to build at Arsenal that is never going to come. We have seen projects, being built at Arsenal. Arsene Wenger was building a project. You remember, 2006 to 2015, he was building a project, a project that never came through. Now we are building a Mikel Arteta project, a project that's never going to come through. Look, I think the reason that's why he lost yesterday is partly because of the quality of the squad, partly because of Mikel Arteta as a manager, and partly because of our recruitment process that goes back 10 years ago. One of the most long-serving players at Arsenal is Callum Chambers, but is he quality? Is that the quality we want to use? I remember we brought him from Southampton, 16 million under Arsene Wenger, but I still don't understand, because Chambers has never been the kind of Arsene Wenger kind of player. He's never been. If you compare the right backs, Eboué and Sanya, the kind of right backs we have had, the level of accuracy, in their crossing, and then you compare them to Chambers, I don't know why we signed him, and that is the problem. But for me, I think the problems at Arsenal need to be solved. If we are going to do a shake-up, we need to change manager. Bring in Bielsa. Bring in anyone that is not Mikel Arteta. Bring in someone who has experience, in dealing with low budget. Because it is hard to manage Arsenal. That's the truth. Very hard to manage Arsenal. Very, very hard to manage Arsenal. Because it's a low budget club that needs to get somewhere every season. They need to see something. That's not easy. We are not Juventus. We aren't Bayern. We are not Real Madrid. But we want titles. So you need someone who has got experience in doing that. Not Mikel Arteta. And those are my thoughts on Mikel. I think, he came out and apologized after losing that game. I said it is his own mistakes. But how many times is he going to apologize? He said that before. And I'm fed up of him. Every press conference, we lost the game, and I think I am to blame. Till when? Till when we'll get relegated? We've been relegated. We've been relegation threatened before, and you want us to forgive you again and again and again. For me, it doesn't make sense. Arteta has to go. Arteta has to go. We need to get in someone who understands the problems of Arsenal, someone who can deal with a low budget, but then at the end of the day know that Arsenal needs results. If you agree with me, get in the comments. Get in your comments. Smash the like button. But if you don't agree with me, of course, I need to know your opinion in the comment box as well. Thank you so much.